The key person who did not join Obi is the governor of Abia State, Alex Otti. Alex Otti gave a press interview the same day that Peter Obi defected. Alex Otti said that Peter Obi came to him, told him that he was defecting. So he gave Peter Obi his blessings, but told Peter Obi that he will not be defecting with him. So Governor Alex Otti, who has been doing exceptionally well in Abia State, said that he joined Labour Party before Peter Obi. Before that 2022-2023 election cycle, he was the first to join Peter Obi. And it's possible that being that he was there before Peter Obi could have influenced why Peter Obi chose Labour Party. A lot of factors would have played into that decision. But Alex Otti said he's not defecting with Obi. He said he will remain with the Labour Party and that he will fight to restore Labour Party to the end. But now said if he gets to the end, meaning, he will be going for re-election in 2027. So if it gets to the end, that is the timetable that INEC gives. There's a timetable which INEC has not officially released yet, but there's going to be a timetable. So, and there's a time where you have to get forms and you have to get your nomination, you get your ticket of the party before it is presented to INEC, and INEC will now upload an official list of candidates before the election. So the end he was talking about is that deadline, which INEC has not set. But if there is a deadline, and Alex Otti from what he's saying, that if he cannot resolve the issue in Labour Party, which he's trying to resolve, and honest to what he said, truthfully, he has been one of those who has been instrumental in trying to resolve the issue of the Labour Party. So, but if he gets to the end and he couldn't resolve it, that then he will now weigh options. So Alex Otti is not closing the door completely to leaving the Labour Party, but he has not said he will join it. He said he's not joining ADC. For now, he's not joining ADC. But when the time comes where he has to make a choice, that if the problems in Labour Party is irreconcilable and he decides to leave, then he will have options. The options could be APC. He's close to President Tinubu. They are close in Lagos before Alex Otti won election to be governor. He was active in banking and other sectors, and they interacted a lot in Lagos, So when that time comes, he will now choose. So for Alex Otti, I clearly understand his mindset. Alex Otti is in a good place. He's in a good spot now. Why do I say that? He is close to President Tinubu. They knew each other before. And so it's easy for him to go to President Tinubu to get things for his state and to get the federal government to consider some of the projects they want carried out in Abia State. So he wouldn't want to, at this point, to now be playing presidential politics, because Alex Otti is concerned about how he can work for his people in Abia State. And following Peter Obi now to join ADC, and ADC is seen as one of the #1 enemy of the president and the APC. So that could jeopardize his relationship with the president. And it's not as if the election time is here. He doesn't need to follow Obi at this point. He doesn't need to do that. So he wants to maintain his relationship with the president. He wants to keep his Labour Party. and he wants to keep striving to see if Labour Party can be saved, which is a good thing, you know. Then one key thing we should remember is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was sentenced late last year, sentenced to 20 years in prison. Is currently serving it out in Sokoto prison. And Alex Otti came from the east, came to Sokoto to visit Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is from his own state. The issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is one of the things that Southeast leaders, including Alex Otti, wants to resolve. You understand? So they are trying to seek a political solution. And that is why he came to Sokoto to see Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And being that he's close to the president, he can also go talk to the president. So the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu issue is there. Alex Otti is leading the charge to get a political solution. He cannot get a political solution by playing presidential politics now. Joining Obi now to join ADC in opposition to Tinubu at this time could jeopardize his efforts to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And it could jeopardize some of the things some of the projects he may be fighting for federal government to approve for Abia State. So I understand where Alex Otti is coming from. And I think that people should show understanding. As a governor of his state, his first priority is his state. That's his first priority. Peter Obi is from Anambra State, So, and Peter Obi is the Anambra State is being governed by Professor Charles Soludo, former CBN governor, who is of ABGA, So, in terms of state politics and all that, Anambra State is in ABGA. Someone in ABGA. But we know that when it comes to presidential politics, Peter Obi is very popular in Anambra State and is very popular in the East. But Alex Otti wants to continue to do the good work. He's doing great work for Abia State, which many have testified, those who have been there. So he wants to continue that work. And at this point, there's no need to rock the boat. He's in a good place, and he could fight to see that the Labour Party is restored. He was one of those who orchestrated the formation of the Nnamdi Usman Critical Committee. And later, the Critical Committee was now became full chairperson, Senator Nnamdi Usman, and they have a National Working Committee. They said that the Supreme Court have said that Julius Abure is no longer chairman. Julius Abure is still claiming chairman. Julius Abure wants to rock the boats in Labour Party. So Alex Otti has been doing well to restore Labour Party and wants to continue that way. For Julius Abure, I once said, if Julius Abure had, voluntarily stepped down in the heat of the crisis before Kenneth Okonkwo left, before other people left Labour Party, you understand? If Julius Abure had stepped down and supported new leadership in Labour Party, he would have been one of the key stakeholders in Labour Party. And Labour Party Peter Obi could have stayed in Labour Party. But now Peter Obi has left Labour Party. Alex Otti, who is the main elected official in Labour Party, being a governor, is not in good terms with Abure. Alex Otti is in the Nnamdi Usman group. And Julius Abure has burnt the bridge by which he could have reconciled with Alex Otti. According to what Peter Obi said, I'm quoting Peter Obi, it's not me that said it. Peter Obi said that Julius Abure insulted Alex Otti. You know, Alex Otti is not tall like myself. He's not tall. So Julius Abure, in, since Alex Otti is on the Nnamdi Usman faction, Nnamdi Usman group, let me not use faction now. Julius Abure has used some very harsh words to talk about other people who are not in his group. And according to Peter Obi, that Julius Abure said that the ideas that Alex Otti, that the ideas he has are as short as his stature. So you can imagine that somebody insulting an elected governor, the only elected governor in the party. The party chairman could not show respect. He insulted him, insulted other people. After having a series of allegations against him, Julius Abure. Julius Abure have had there are series of allegations, financial misappropriation and all that, selling tickets, to the highest bidder and all that. All those things has been leveled against him, and still has the effrontery to talk down on the one of the best performing governors in Nigeria, and a key member of his own party. So Julius Abure has burned that bridge. I don't see him going to reconcile with Alex Otti. And Peter Obi has left Labour Party. So now, Labour Party is of no use again. Because at the end of the day, the people that have been supporting Julius Abure once was in a picture with Wike that is supporting Tinubu for 2027. So there are people that have been supporting Julius Abure. The favorable court judgments that Julius Abure had before the Supreme Court, if not for the support that Wike and others gave him, he could not have gotten those favorable judgments. And so Julius Abure, with Peter Obi leaving Labour Party now, that means that Julius Abure's team are finished, because he's not going to get money from the APC benefactors. He's not going to get money from Peter Obi. He's not going to get money from Obedience. He's not going to get money from Alex Otti. And the key thing that they want, all these party officials, is funding. Because without funding, you can't keep people in line. You can't do things, So now, Julius Abure is left. There's nothing for Abure again. That's why I said Julius Abure should have voluntarily stepped aside when he should have. Especially on moral grounds. He should have stepped down, stepped aside. If he had done that, he could have been one of those who are leading the Labour Party, into the new dispensation. But because he refused and allowed himself to be so used by the powers that be, Julius Abure is left. Since Peter Obi left Labour Party, I've not heard anything from Abure Group. I've not heard. Maybe there's something they said, but it's obvious that there is quiet and disquiet in that camp. The main person that was in the Julius Abure group was the running mate to Peter Obi, former Senator Dapty, former Senator Dapty. And one of the reasons why Dapty was still holding on hope with the Labour Party, he was hoping that Peter Obi will stay in Labour Party. he was urging Obi to stay in Labour Party, that they can still contest again, just as they did in 2023. That is why Dakti was hanging on, and attending meetings with Julius Abure. So now that Peter Obi has left, and I don't see Dakti Baba Ahmed is not interested in running for president now. He's not, until he gets to the turn of the north. So there's no way that you expect Dakti Baba Ahmed to still be backing Abure. It's more likely that Dakti Baba Ahmed, either he will just withdraw or join ADC and support Obi. I don't see Dakti Baba Ahmed with the way he conducts himself. I don't see him joining APC or PDP. He could join ADC, or he could just wait it out. So Julius Abure has been left out, and I'm not sad about it because Julius Abure has done a lot of harm to Labour Party, and he's done a lot of harm to opposition. It's one of those that have caused, just as Wike is causing harm to PDP. Julius Abure was doing his own in Labour Party. They have been causing problems in opposition parties. And that is why the problems they caused in PDP, problems they caused in Labour Party, that has what has led to ADC now. ADC now is a strong party. Atiku is there. El-Rufai is there. Amechi is there. Obi is there. Obedience are there. ADC is now a strong party. If only they had allowed PDP, at least some people will still be in PDP. Many of the governors have left. If they had allowed Labour, probably Obi would have stayed back. But because they didn't do that, they wanted to frustrate everybody. Now you have a strong ADC. And ADC is on a solid footing. ADC is not suffering what PDP is suffering, or what Labour Party is suffering, or what NNPP is suffering. No. ADC is on a strong footing, and you have strong men there. You understand? Senator David Mark is a strong man, former military person. Ram Faregbesola, strong people. El-Rufai, former governor, strong man. Rotimi Amechi, former governor, former minister, strong. Peter Obi, former governor, former presidential candidate, had 6 million votes 2023, strong. So we see how it all plays out, but it's a good thing that progress is being made, because at the point I wasn't really sure if Peter Obi would join ADC, but now he has joined. So now it's going to be a battle in the ADC. There is going to be a battle. It's not going to be easy for Atiku. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a battle. And with the wave that Obi has brought with him to ADC, things are going to shake. Things are going to shake. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be interesting times to see who will come out on top in ADC. Because we have those who have resources. We have those who have the crowd and the people. So at the end of the day, we'll see what comes out of that.